Okay, this will be a challenging one, perhaps. Let's see how we go with it. Okay, let's see what we have. We have here a holographic gift bag. I think that's going to go along the top of the photocopier. So we're going to just make this into something interesting. So we're just going to line that up. Try and line it up against the edge. It's really difficult when that edge is overlapping. Anyway, that's come up looking a treat. Look at all the little pixels, or whatever you call them. Got a bit of an edge there, that pity, that bit there. That looks really nice, but it still needs more. Maybe we could turn this into a master copy for movement. So yeah, that's probably the best holographic gift bag we've ever done. And it's nearly my birthday. My birthday happens to fall on the 1st of January. So on the 1st of January, that was when I was born. And I'm looking forward to a bright future. If I can get in touch with my future husband, Luigi, through the television channels, through the primetime news, I've got heaps of things I'd like to do with my life, and my main interest is to redesign the photocopier. And one of the big pieces of work I'm going to do on this is designing these equipments to be made from recycled materials whenever possible. So we're going to make these from recycled materials, like from India and China, where e-waste or electronic waste, which is highly toxic, gets dumped typically. And basically, we've got to make a difference in this world with the environment, and also the human side of the factory. Not just the factory, but the factory is what I like to talk about, because factory workers are often poorly paid. That's why everything goes over to China or Vietnam or India for manufacturing. I think India. I don't know about India. Sorry, but basically, parts of this photocopy, the main part I think is manufactured in China, and I think the pedestal's made in Vietnam. And these are third world countries, and these people are being paid what will be classified as slave labour. So these photocopiers that I'm referring to in the future are going to be built in Australia, on Australian soil. We are going to design them in Australia, build them in Australia, and the company is going to be 100% Australian owned. Everything is, except for the raw materials that come from places like India and China, everything's going to be made in Australia, and the materials will probably be the only thing we'll be importing from these third world countries. So we've got to think of the future. We've got to think of these machines have got to last longer than fucking 5 years for junk like this. So we basically make them last roughly 60 years. And basically we make these equipments easy to recycle. So they're easy to pull apart and easy to batch the materials. And yes, we're going to use a lot less plastic in our design. We're going to make the panels, for example, are going to be made of aluminium, as is the chassis of the equipment. We're going to make these machines built to last, tough and rugged, industrial strength photocopiers. I've been into photocopiers for decades on and off, so yeah, I really want to make a difference with the industry, change the industry the way that it works. Basically, most of the money that I earn as a CEO will go towards science, and that's another interest I have, is I want to become also a scientist as well as a CEO, and I want to find solutions, and these solutions will be funded by myself as a CEO. Solutions will be found for climate change, for example, or nuclear waste. How to fucking clean that up. You know, we've got to think of the future, folks. Think of what we can do to make a difference with the money and the talent we have. Currently, I can't do this stuff on my own because of the brain damage I had at birth, which was really a sad present that I got for my birthday when the doctors were allegedly not on the job when I was being born. I came out feet first, and I came out had a cord around my neck. So it was really like I was hung at birth, and it was horrible. It was a horrible birth for my mum. She apparently was on her own, and Dad was doing his job. He wasn't willing to come for the birth. Really nasty. But basically, so much happened, and I do have reason to believe I have moderate brain damage. So I can't remember a lot of things. I have problems with my memory, my short-term memory, and I suspect also the hippocampus, the part of the brain that converts short-term memory into long-term memory, have both been damaged severely. And I notice my limitations more now because I'm in my 40s, I'm no longer young, and any loss of brain cells is more noticeable when you haven't got that many in the first place. So I can't remember what song was on the radio, what the artist or the name of the song or the tune, which I could when I was younger. So I'm not happy with the people who should have been on the job when I was being born. So I'm very angry at them, but I'm looking forward to a day when they have technology in the form of neuroprosthesis. These are prosthetics that are designed they're like computers for the brain, to act as a substitute for the wet matter that we have, the grey matter. So it's just like, it's an artificial brain, or brain part for me, because not all my brain is malfunctioning, or not all my brain is damaged, only some areas. I do have reason to believe I have Asperger's syndrome, which explains the powerful love I have for these equipments, this passion for the equipment. So it's likely I have Asperger's syndrome as well, but I don't classify that as a major problem now. I see the Asperger's as an asset to keep me going. It prevents me from going mad because I'm not with my family. I'm not with Luigi. I do feel sad and really upset that I'm away from Luigi, but I can, to a certain extent, tolerate it, even though it still drives me mad, but I can deal with the general lack of social aspect of Christmas. I don't feel the need to be around my family or around a bunch of friends. like a lot of people do. A lot of people go mad when they can't hang out with their loved ones or their friends. But I really do miss Luigi. But fortunately, this stuff is what I need to find him. I'm using this to find Luigi because he too loves photocopiers, and without him I can't make those dreams come true. I don't even have much money, living on a disability pension and working in a sheltered workshop, trying to eke a living out to try and get this stuff to go to air. Now that looks interesting. I don't think I'm hitting the sweet spot as well as I'd like to. Just going to make a choice here which one I'm going to go with. I'm just going to use my intuition. We're going with this. But basically it's really difficult being away from this loved one. But as for all the other human contacts, I'm able to put it off to get to this prize that is Luigi. This is not working, folks. It's not working as well as I'd like it to. I just keep producing duds. But I'm really missing Luigi. Even though the Asperger's makes it less problematic, it's the actual push is to get in touch with Luigi through this TV stuff. So I have to put it aside that I can't go back to Luigi yet, and I have to fucking put up with it. Fortunately, the Asperger's seems to temper it to a lesser extent, or to a certain extent, a limited extent, has allowed me to function well, even though I'm not with my primary loved one, Luigi, which really hurts, but I have to accept that I'm not going to find him straight away. Some of these do look good, but they're not sweet spot jobs. They're not quite what I'm after. This looks nice, but I don't know. But I'm really longing to find this Luigi. And I'm hoping this TV campaign will bring us back together again. I really miss him. This one's going to be a really prolongated type of demo. I don't know how I'm going to make this work, to be honest, folks, but then many of my demos do go on for long amounts of time, what I call prolongated, just simply prolongated. But I'm really needing to find Luigi. Now that looks interesting. Still looks a bit too stretched, too horizontal. I just want it to be a more angled type of piece. This is a difficult one, folks. So I'm starting to shake. Fortunately, we're near the end of my demo set. Now that looks interesting. We could probably use that as not straight away, unless I could put it on an angle. going at 400 for some reason. I don't know what it is, what I'm thinking, whether maybe this piece might be the piece. This looks really nice there, but I'm really lonely and I'm trying my best to use this talent of mine to go to air on free-to-air primetime news. It's really challenging, this kind of work that I do. So we got that on the paper like that, on the machine, should I say. But it's really lonely. I'm trying my best to get this work out. I do have a problem with uploading from this phone to Facebook. It's unstable. I think it's I was told by the telco person that it might be the version of software that came as an update recently, and that update appears to have made the phone unstable, at least on Facebook, when I'm uploading videos, especially large ones. So I'm really angry at Samsung that they haven't chosen the right people to do the job. I get the feeling they're monkey type people, like really stupid idiot people that don't know how to program properly, how to do good code. And I'm really angry at at those people. I really don't like what they've created. They really are. Oh, hang on, we're just going back to 400. So yeah, I'm really angry at the people because companies don't just hire people from foreign countries to do the hardware, to manufacture the hardware of things, but they also hire people who are incompetent at programming, because the people that have a lower IQ, they're not as smart, and smart people obviously means more money that they have to pay them to work, and they choose people who are less intelligent because they're cheap labour. This happens in the photocopier industry. It appears to also that the photocopiers are not built with anything new, majorly new in software. You still get the same features in every iteration after a certain time, and this is not good enough. And that's another thing. We're going to hire people in the factory who love photocopiers, who are good at photocopiers, who fit the job properly. Their IQ and their aptitude are going to be taken, and enthusiasm are going to be taken into account. We are not going to hire people that drag their feet and hate what they do. We are going to get enthusiastic people, not fucking idiots, not monkeys. No monkeys. No fucking people that scratch their armpits screeching for bananas. We don't pay bananas. As I said, we're not going to underpay our workers. We're actually going to pay the workers a little bit more than what they're actually worth. Not actually worth compared with slave labour, but real labour. Real wages, like what we used to have when Australia was manufacturing, or better than that. We've got to make it better than that. So that's the comparison. So we're going to pay them good wages, and we're going to use talented people, not fucking monkeys, not scratch armpits, screechy people who work for bananas, so to speak. Anyway, that's come up looking a treat. I think now we can call this demo quits.